Hello, hello, hello there, and welcome back to the True Crusade Stories podcast with your girl, Coach Mo, your favorite family finance coach, coming to you live and direct from my studio. Listen, I hope you all have had an amazing day thus far. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful where I live, okay? The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the sky is blue, a little bit of clouds, but not too much. And I am just so excited and elated that spring has officially sprung. Now we did lose an hour here where I live, but I'm gonna tell you what, it's okay, it's all good because I would rather have longer nights than 12 inches of snow. Okay, somebody talk to me. I would rather have blue skies and sunny weather and leaves flying than a downpour of tumultuous rain. I would much rather have that. And you know what? We know that the spring showers are on the way, but we're not there yet. We're taking it day by day. We are taking it day by day, okay? So, anyway, we have an amazing topic in store for you all today, and we're really anxious to get into it because there are some misconceptions about Social Security, right? And for anybody listening to this, I know that some people will think about Social Security in one way, someone will think about it in another way. Some people will say, "What is it?" Okay, depending on your age, right? But Social Security, and I want to get your feedback on this, so be sure to add some comments down below so we can hear back from you and what your thoughts are concerning this.
So first and foremost, I want to get started by just talking a little bit about what people did before Social Security came on the scene. And honestly, Social Security was founded back in 1935. So we're coming up on 90 years of Social Security being in effect, okay? And so before Social Security, people relied primarily on a mix of individual and collective strategies, okay? So for economic security, including savings, investments, company or state pensions, extended family support, and sometimes charity or public assistance programs. So let's just think about where we are today. So when we can turn on the news at any given time and see different people's opinions about the state of our economy, but we can also see the reality because we're buying things every day or every week. We're putting gas in our cars. We are buying food, right? And so we all get to experience the beloved inflation rates that are happening all around us right now. And for the elderly or the older population, we know that some of them already have had to tighten up their belts because that's what a lot of seniors do, right? And so they like to take advantage of the senior discounts and getting things with a coupon and so on and so forth. And it's not to say, well, this is just what seniors do, but mostly when people are at the place of retirement, their income has been drastically reduced because they are no longer working. And so they want to stretch those pennies as far as they can so that they can have a quality of life, maybe as close as possible as they can to when they were working. Okay. And so collective strategies, saving money, huge deal. Saving money or families helping families, companies actually having pensions. And so it seems like it's so antiquated, right? Because we live in a society now where people want everything right away. And so we have credit cards, we have loans, we have all of the things that can help us to fulfill a need immediately versus saving it and putting money away for the future. And so in so many words, Social Security, people have become dependent on it and looking forward to it. Why? Because 1935 is when it was founded. And so many years, people have contributed into Social Security benefits. And I'm going to tell you, I've been working since I was about 16 years old, and I have been paying into Social Security ever since I was working. Okay. And I know many of you listening to this podcast have been working many years as well. But how do you feel about the fact that this may be the end of an era? Social Security may be coming to an end at some point. Why? Because our country is trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. And so how can it continue to pay people out monthly, right? And not just the elderly, there's all types of people that are receiving Social Security benefits. How long can that continue? And so I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the news, but being someone who is in finance, and as you guys know, I am a finance coach, as I mentioned earlier, there are lots of different things happening all around us, and we have to keep abreast of what's happening so that we can act accordingly, right? And this is not to say that you should watch the news and be frantic or anxious about how you're going to survive and how you're going to be provided for, because I believe that God is going to supply all of our needs according to his riches and glory, which is in and through Christ Jesus. But we do understand that we live in the world. And because we live in the world, we have to be aware of the things that are happening, not that we put our trust in those things. And Social Security is one of those things, right? And so there was a report, actually an article that was written and it was published a couple of days ago. And the title, don't get upset, all right? So the title is Trump Reverses Social Security Overpayment Policy Sparking Backlash. Okay. Trump reverses Social Security overpayment policy sparking backlash. And so I'm going to read a little bit. It's not a very long article at all. It says, beginning March 27th, to recover new overpayments, the Social Security Administration will automatically withhold 100% of recipients' monthly benefits, the agency announced. A year ago, a new head of Social Security set out to stop the agency from financially devastating many of the people it was meant to help. The agency had long made it a practice to reduce or halt benefit checks to recoup billions of dollars in payments it sent recipients, but later said they never should have received those. So Martin O'Malley, then the Social Security Administration commissioner, announced in March of 2024, the agency would no longer cut off people's monthly old age survivors and disability checks to recoup money they had allegedly been overpaid. So this is a pattern he called a clawback cruelty. Instead, it would default to withholding 10% of the monthly benefits. The new policy allowed people who already live on little to pay their rent and keep food on the table. Social Security, you guys. So many reasons why Social Security got started in the first place. And I won't take the time on the podcast today to share all of those things. But I'm going to tell you what. I know, because I am in finance, that there are a lot of people who are not just elderly people, who are middle-aged people, children, who are depending on Social Security for their survival. And I want to know, how do you feel about that? How does that make you feel? And so why I'm asking that is because of this. There has been a dependency where people have been depending on the government to provide those Social Security benefits. Now, meanwhile, many of them have paid into the Social Security system. I'm one of those people, but I have never been able to draw Social Security. And some of us, to be honest, we never will. And so we have to, and I don't know if we are seeing the writing on the wall, but we are going back to what it looked like before Social Security existed. And I'm telling you, we should have never lost sight of that, because if a government can have control of whether or not I receive my monthly payment, that is a huge deal. I can imagine the anxiety, the depression, the worrying that's taking place right now, or that has taken place in the past when things were done to stop these benefits, even if it was temporarily. And so people have become dependent on this. and what is the correct way to actually end it, if that's something that will be needed. And I'm not suggesting that it should be ended, but I think there's a more excellent way than just cutting off people's livelihoods. So that's my personal opinion. But of course, everyone has a different opinion. And so we're going back to the times where people had to save money. And so saving money has been going on for many, many years. Okay. That's something that you can do yourself, right? We can do that ourselves. We can have control over whether or not we are saving money simply by making more money, right? If there's not enough money, or cutting our expenses. So it's income in, right? Expenses out. But determining what does that actually look like for me on a daily basis? How do I sustain my family and my livelihood and my comfortability if I'm dependent on a certain dollar amount every month that I'm not working for anymore, but the government is cutting me that check? See, I think that for people who read the news articles and pay attention to the news and listening to the radio, there may be a level of anxiety that comes along with just knowing that they can cut it at any time. So saving has always been something that we should do. But the question is, where do I save my money? Well, that's a conversation for another time, right? In addition to that, investments. And so for many people, when they hear the word investments, they're thinking, I don't know what to do to invest my money. I don't know where to start. And plus, right now, because of the state of the economy, a lot of people are afraid to invest their money because they think that they're going to lose it all. But that's where financial education comes into play, right? Because at the end of the day, we may see stocks, right? And we always have a tendency to go to stock prices. And we think about the stock market going up and down, up and down, up and down. You gain some and you lose some. But there are other investment strategies outside of stocks. And I'm not just talking about, and I'm not recommending that you should not invest in a stock. But what I'm saying is there's more than just one way to invest your money. And so we need to get sound advice on how, where, when we should be investing our money. And so for most people, they would think that because an economy is down or prices are lower, that they actually should not invest. But there is something called the cycle of the market, where every 8 to 10 years, 4 major things happen. First of all, there's going to be a boom, right? And the prices are going to be up and people are going to love it because everybody's making money. But then what goes up must always come down. And so there is a little bit of a slowdown phase. And during the slowdown phase, people who are not an experienced investor, they may start to get a little nervous and thinking, oh, I don't know about this. Well, I may have to pull my money out. And then before you know it, there is a recession. Drastically reduced costs, right? But during a recession is the time when the market is on sale. Okay. And that could potentially be the time that people should be investing. But again, I'm not giving any recommendations here, but you should most definitely get with a financial advisor or a financial coach that can help you to make those decisions and help you to get some financial education about your money and investing and what that looks like. And so when we're in a recession, that's when the market is on sale. So I get the opportunity to buy more because I'm getting it for less, right? But then what goes down, now it begins to recover. So we go from recession to recovery, and the market has done that every 8 to 10 years since its inception. We've seen it. We've seen it with COVID. We've seen it with so many things over the years. And this is not anything new to us. This is not new terrain. This is not the first time we got a new president. This won't potentially be the last time, right? But we've seen this before for many of us, and depending on where you are on your journey, right? You may want to be more conservative, but that is not something that I can say blanketly to anyone listening to this call, because you would need to sit down with a financial representative to find out what's suitable for you and what makes sense for you based on where you are, what your goals are, and what you plan to do and how you plan to live. And that's really what's important. And so investing has been around for a very long time, and we need to ensure that all of our options are considered when we're thinking about money and sustainability. Because as we can see, the government, right, if they can cut off Social Security at any time, this is not necessarily something that we can plan for in our retirement strategy. This may not be something that we could say with all assurity that I am going to be able to collect X amount of dollars every single month at age 65. Okay. So company or state pensions, listen, those things are pretty much obsolete. There are some companies that still do pensions, but for the most part, people are doing 401ks and they're giving a percentage or they're contributing a percentage based on what the employee is contributing. And so gone are the days where so many companies, so many major organizations are providing pensions because it's about money. And ultimately, the goal for any organization is not to make sure that their employees are taken care of for the rest of their lives, but the goal is for the company to remain in business. And that's the reality of it, right? And so we have that part. And then family support, extended family support. So where we are now today, lots of families living together, lots of families pooling together to make things happen, to survive, to save money, because these are some different times. And this in when I say different, I don't want to make it seem like this is something that's happened for the first time or is new or is different. But families have, since forever been pooling together, pooling their resources together so that they can come out better, right? And we're just getting back to those times. So I don't believe that Social Security is necessarily something for us to be alarmed about, but we do need to be aware of it. And we have to find ways to store away and save money in the event that anything happens. And that is my recommendation. Okay. And so to go back to Social Security, and then I'm going to be wrapping up, but to go back to Social Security, Social Security, most people believe, and when I say most people, I'm talking about people who are maybe in their 20s or maybe even in their 30s. When I talk to them about retirement, pretty much everyone says, I want to retire at 65 and 67. Why? Because of Social Security. So we have been conditioned to believe that we can only retire at 67 or 65 or even partially at 62 and still work because we're thinking about those Social Security benefits. But the reality is this: you can retire whenever you would like to, but you need to have money to retire or it's not truly retirement. If you have to work, you're not retired. If you want to work and you just work because you like working, then you are retired. Okay, you are retired. But once you get to that place of retirement, the question is, well, man, how much debt do I have? How much of my mortgage do I have left? Do I have to go purchase a new car in retirement? So many older people who have gotten to the place of retirement have found themselves having to purchase another vehicle because the one that they had won't take them all the way through the end of their life. And so they may need to now purchase a new vehicle and obtain a new debt if it's not paid off in cash. And now that cuts into their monthly budget. And so there's so many different things at play here. But ultimately, we need to be educated. We need to be prepared. We need to be prayerful and watchful. And we need to be resourceful. And so again, gone are the days where pensions will supply. our needs. Gone are the days where Social Security will supply our needs. But we need to, one, have faith and belief in God and asking God for strategies on what we should do with our money in this season. And so that's really all I have for today. I know it's a little bit of a shorter podcast, but I wanted to get into the Social Security topic because there's some misconceptions about, is that actual retirement? Is this something that I can depend on? And I've seen reports that showed that Social Security could be depleted by 2038. And listen, 2025 is here, and it's unbelievable that we are in 2025. That was 90 years ago that Social Security was invented, that people started receiving payments from Social Security. 90 years. But is this an end of an era? Is this an end of an era? So I want you all to most definitely write out your goals, write out your plans, write out what it is that you want to do. If you need help and assistance with that, you want to get with someone that you like and trust who can help you to navigate through during this season, this time of our lives. So we're all experiencing something. Some people a little less because they're more prepared. But now the question is, how can you get more prepared? What can you do to get to a place where you're comfortable about working your plan? How can you get to a place where you have vision again and you start dreaming again? Because I know for some of us, we stopped dreaming, right? Totally gave up on the dream because of the situation around us. But I want you to be encouraged that God will supply all of our needs. So let's just stay prayerful. Let's just stay hopeful. We know that all of our hope is in Jesus Christ, but let's just continue to look to the hills from which cometh our help, because all of our help comes from the Lord. Amen. Amen. Okay, well, that's all for today. I pray that each and every one of you have an amazing remainder of your day. And remember that we'll be back next Friday with another crusade story. So if you need to contact me for any reason, you have questions about the podcast today, you want to ask about Social Security or how you can get on track to retire one day, I want you to email me. And my email address is coachmo@trueresilience.net. That is COACHMO at true, that's TRU, resilience.net. And you can go ahead and schedule a Zoom meeting with me to discuss your story and whatever you need help with. And so again, that is Coach Mo at trueresilience.net. Be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.